So this is going to be example number 5 on your note sheet from yesterday, which was solving equations with multiple variables, part 1. On Thursday, we're going to do our last note sheet for the semester, which is going to be solving equations with variables in multiple locations, part 2. Now, the reason why this is called part 1, anytime that we've been solving equations, what have you noticed about the location of the variables?
They'd be like,
What do you guys think? There's more than one variable in there for sure, but it's always been kind of in a specific area. Not always in the parentheses. Sometimes on the outside of the parentheses, but they've always all been on one side of the equation. So the lesson that we're going to learn on Thursday, you're going to have variables on both sides of the equation. All right, so example 5, we have 2 times 2e minus 4 minus 3 times e plus 2 equals negative 9. So this is a really long one. So we're going to start it the same every single time. Line. I'm going to make sure I circle all of my variables. In this case, I have 2. And I'm going to start by simplifying each side of the equation. What that means, I'm going to simplify each side of my line of equality. So I'm first going to look at my left side. There's a lot of simplifying to do here. I have lots of numbers. So the order I have to simplify things is first by distributing. How many times can I distribute here? Jaden, how many times can I distribute here? Alex, help them out. Yeah, 2 different times. So I always solve my math problems going left to right. So I'm going to distribute with this first set here. Meaning? Because I have 2 numbers. That's okay. That's a good question. Hold that thought. Because I have 2 sets of parentheses up here, right, Kaylon? And I have a number in both sets of these parentheses, which means I can distribute twice. I could actually distribute, if there's a different equation, however many times I have a number in parentheses, like that, okay? So Alex, go ahead and distribute. I'm going to take 2 times 2e and get 4e. And then I'm going to take 2 times what? Which is? No, 2 times 4? 8. And you're right by saying negative 8. This is the main mistake kids make. They forget about their negatives, okay? All right.
so since you done with that, do you put it back in parentheses?
No, that's a really good question. Once you've distributed, you do not bring it down in parentheses. You just bring it on down. So then we're going to distribute again. This time, what kind of number is that in front of the parentheses? A negative 3. So this time, we're going to make sure that we distribute that negative 3. So, Kaylon, what's negative 3 times e?
Negative 3e.
Yeah, so I just bring down negative 3e. Then I'm going to distribute negative 3 times positive 2. What kind of 6? Negative 6. Okay, put my equal sign. Now, sorry, my spacing's a little bad looking there, but it's okay. And then on my right side, there's nothing to simplify. It's just one number, so I bring it down. After I distribute, I then have to do what? Jair, after I distribute, what do I have to do according to my notes? What do my notes say to do? Okay, so I have to identify what my like terms are. So what are my like terms here?
4e
And
3.
What kind of 3 is that?
Negative.
Okay, and what are my other like terms here?
Negative 6 and negative 9.
How about negative 8?
8 and 8, yeah.
Is my handwriting that bad?
Yeah.
All right, so again, I always start with the variable first. So if I'm going to combine 4e, look at the sign in front, minus 3e. So what's 4 minus 3? It can just be e. Can I put that 1 in front of it?
No.
I can, but is it necessary? No, it's going to give me another step if I do. So I'm just going to bring down the e. Then I combine my next like terms.
Plus 8.
What kind of 8 is that?
I know, I'm saying plus.
Not yet.
Negative.
Negative 8.
Negative 6.
So negative 8 minus 6. What's negative 8 minus 6?
Negative 14.
So that's why I wouldn't put the plus, Damon, because I would actually put negative 14. Now, if I would have put the plus there, I would have had to write it like this. which is just extra writing that I don't want to do. Okay. Once I combine like terms, I solve as usual. Mr. McFarland, do me a favor. Whoever raises their hand and correctly answers the next question I'm going to have, put a star by their name. Okay, so what kind of equation is this? Airplane. You guys don't know that because we don't do it. Okay, Kaylon.
Yeah. It is that one right there.
Mm-hmm.
That is I know it. Right here, it's Wait, I know.
All right, next, raise your hand. Jair.
A two-step equation?
No, raise your hand.
Oh!
Michael, are you raising your hand? What? Nope, not what I'm asking. Jalen. No, Alex.
Wait, I don't know, never mind.
Kaylon.
One step equation.
All right.
How would you call him again?
Maybe we should get him like a half a star. That was painful. Solving one step equation. So how do I get the E by itself? How do I get the E by itself?
You gotta do positive plus 14. Whatever you do on one side, you gotta do to the other. Cross that one out. And that's gonna be 5. Positive 5.
Good. Now, this is the main thing you guys need to watch. You have a -9 plus 14. You're really going to have to watch your positives and negatives in this last lesson. Okay. Get it down, and we're going to do the last example problem. Okay. Go ahead and write this last example down. Example number 6. Do me a favor. Next to example number 6, put a star or a check mark or put something to identify example number 6.
I'm going to pull it up.
Now, you will not have this type of problem on your quiz, okay? You will not have this kind of problem on your quiz. So we have 2g times 3g minus 7 plus 14g equals 150.
No.
What is different about this equation? Can you write this down, please? What is different about this equation compared to every other equation that we've done so far yesterday and today? Alex? I think I know what you're trying to say. Can somebody explain a little bit more specifically? Daisha? Okay, it has 3 variables. Kaylon?
It has a variable inside the parentheses and outside the parentheses.
That's, yeah. So we've never had to distribute a number with a variable on the inside and a number with a variable on the outside. So that's going to kind of change the whole format of the equation. So let's take a look at and see what I mean by that. So we're still going to follow the exact same steps. We're still going to simplify each side of the equation. We're going to start by distributing if possible. Can I distribute?
Yes.
What am I going to distribute here?
2g and then 3g.
Which equals?
Equal 6g. Then you go have.
Wait. 6g what though? How many g's do I now have when you multiply?
Oh, you don't need to put your what is it? Square.
Square. Good.
Because you got 2g.
Okay. Now we're going to take 2g and multiply it by what? Which is what?
-14.
And then what do I bring down?
Your 14.
Wait, -14 what though?
Negative
No, -14.
14.
I heard it. G. And then what do I bring down?
Your positive 14.
G.
Then you go equal 150.
Okay. So I want you guys to stop and look here. So because of this here, it totally changed what kind of equation we're solving. Okay? Totally changed the kind of equation that we're solving. So if we want to get this variable by itself, I'm now solving an equation with a what?
Square.
Yeah. So, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and box what's being squared. So what is being squared here? I'm going to put a box around that. Not the 6g, but just the g. So I'm going to box that g. My goal is to get this g by itself. Well, I'm going to do that by combining like terms. Well, my like terms here are what? Negative 14g and plus 14g. What's going to happen with those?
It's going to turn into a square.
Now, what's negative 14 plus 14?
Oh, it'll be 0.
Yeah, so they basically just cancel each other out, right?
You have 0g.
So I'm just going to cancel that out. And just for the sake of making my work look a little bit neater, I'm going to go ahead down and bring down the 6g squared equals 150. Now, you guys told me that my g is the number that's being squared. I want to get that square by itself, so what do I have to get rid of? The 6. How do I do that? Nah. I do divide it because that 6 touching the variable. What's 150 divided by 6? 25? I'm not sure, you have the calculator, not me. Y'all agree with that? Okay. Now how do I get rid of my square is by itself, so how do I get rid of my square?
Divide times plus. I just said everything.
How do I get this variable here by itself?
Square.
Square root it. And if I square root that side, I have to what? Hey, step out. If I square root the left side, I have to do what to the right side, Daisha? You want to step out with them? Okay, so square and square root cancel. Bring down my g. What's the square root of 25 going to be? It would be 5. Good. Nice job. So, although you may not have this problem on your quiz, you guys should know how to do all this to solve it. We've learned every lesson that has taught you how to do all of that. Okay?